How are you doing, guys? Today we are here sitting with Detective Keith Olsen to speak about the possibility of layoffs. The people of Yonkers, Detective, are very concerned with this because it's going to put safety at risk. We feel that we don't have enough police officers already, and now this cut is going to put the city and the citizens at risk. How you feel about that?
The people should be concerned about this. You know, the mayor's budget calls for the reduction of 72 police officer positions, which would result in roughly 60 to 70 layoffs of police officers. We're already at an all-time low number, and bringing it that much lower would just be extremely dangerous for the city of Yonkers.
Now, if this proposal, the budget proposal, is to come true, when will this be in effect?
June 1st. You know, they need to put a budget in place by June 1st.
So June 1st, just about the summer, when normally crimes goes up, and that's the time that this will take effect.
That's exactly right. It's the worst timing.
Now, have you spoken with the mayor's office? Have any negotiations, anything's going on between PBA and the police department and the mayor's office?
Yeah, we've spoken to the mayor's office several times. We'll be setting up meetings with the city council. We'll be appearing at city council meetings. But the bottom line is this cannot happen. And the citizens of Yonkers should really stand up and make it a point to say that they will not stand for the layoffs of police officers. It's just unacceptable.
Now, Detective, when you say stand up, what do you think they should do, or what can they do, the people of Yonkers?
They should demand that they get the safety that they deserve. You know, they should call their elected officials, their city council people, the city council president, Cater, the mayor's office, and demand that they fix this budget and put their police officers back.
Now, Detective, it was not long ago that I was in a meeting, I think you were there as well, where the mayor and the police commissioner were talking about a 5th precinct.
That's right. Yeah, that was a pipe dream. You know, that was never going to happen. It hasn't happened. You know, but it's important to note that, you know, so they've noted the importance. They've noted the need for more police presence down on the waterfront, except it's never happened. You know, there's a need for police in the schools, but that hasn't happened. There's a need for police pretty much in every corner of our city, but that hasn't happened. And laying off 72 police officers would just really be a dangerous decision.
Now, Detective, on our blog, we talk often about what's going on in Yonkers. And some people are saying that this is in part fault from the police union because of the high pensions and the overtime. Is there any truth to it?
It's not the union's fault. You know, my members, I represent the rank and file members of this police department. You know, the people who are out there patrolling, solving crimes. We don't make decisions. You know, we're not decision makers. We don't get to balance the budget. We don't get to choose where the money goes. You know, it is the last people to blame here are the workers, and that is who the union represents.
So, but let's just for the sake of educating our membership, let's explain how the overtime works. I feel that if there is need for the overtime, it's because you don't have enough manpower and you need to cover those positions. Am I wrong or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing that police overtime is as low as it is. You know, the rank and file lost 31 positions only a few years ago. You know, that's roughly 5% of what our department was at that time. That causes overtime, you know, and it's any overtime that's out there is a necessary evil. And these are cops who are working on holidays and on midnights and missing birthdays and missing important events so that the city can be properly patrolled and have the right amount of people out there.
So basically, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you don't put the cops on overtime, then we will cry and be upset because there is crime on the street.
That's right.
And if we give them overtime, then there is cries because there is too much overtime. So how can we balance this?
If the city properly staffed its police department, they could reduce overtime to next to zero. You know, when you take police officers away, it's going to cause more overtime. If they lay off 70 police officers, overtime is going to skyrocket. Either that or we'll have no cops on the street. So they'll have to choose. But the last group to blame here are the workers.
Now, not long ago, there were hired, many police officers, new officers that just went to the police department. Now you're going to cut them out?
It's not just them. You know, if these cuts go through, we'll be laying off people who were hired 3 years ago. You know, in September, we had a shooting where police officer Kay Lamar was shot in the face, and there was some incredible heroics that night by many police officers. At least 4 of those officers, including Kay Lamar, can be laid off under this current budget.
How is your manpower? How are your people, the police officers, feel about this?
They're destroyed. I mean, if you imagine, if you're out there in patrol, you're doing everything you can to keep the city safe, and then you're wondering if in 40 days if you're going to have a job or not. If you're going to be able to pay your bills and to support your family. That's a heck of a thing to go through.
Detective, can you look at the camera and speak with the people of Yonkers? Tell them directly what should they do, the danger that they might be facing if this comes in effect, and the status of Yonkers with less police officers on the street.
Sure. I would ask the people of Yonkers really to stand up. Go to your city council meetings, call your city council representatives, call the city council president, call the mayor's office, and demand, absolutely demand, that Yonkers Police does not lay off anybody.
Any message for the mayor?
Same thing. All the elected officials have to work together and come up with a real solution. We know this. The real solution is not this budget that's been presented. It's an impossible task to take.
But the issue with this budget that was proposed is a consequence of things that have been happening for many years now.
Yeah, absolutely. And if the city's been misspending, then some people should be held responsible for it. We can't do this over and over and over. This seems to be a problem that's unique to Yonkers. I don't see, even Mount Vernon doesn't go through this every year where their employees are being threatened with layoffs. They have to come up with a long-term solution, and part of the long-term solution is to provide safety for your city. If you expect to bring revenue in, to bring people in, and to maintain a population and have people come to Yonkers, they have to feel safe. And reducing your police department is not the way to do that.
But what I hear here is you telling me that maybe the city is mismanaged.
Clearly it has. I mean, how could you say otherwise? If they didn't, we wouldn't be here every single April wondering how we're going to balance our budget every year.
Any specifics, Detective?
Maybe in the future we'll lay that out, but there's plenty of blame to go around, and it's not with the workers.
So for right now, we don't want to point the finger at the blame. We just want a solution so these officers are not laid off.
Absolutely, that's what we're looking for, a solution.
Thank you, guys. You heard it from Detective Keith Olsen, the president of the PBA. Thank you. Thank you, sir.